Good afternoon from St. Pierre et Miquelon. I am here at the top of the hill up on the observatory area overlooking the entire town of St. Pierre. I'll give you a nice little look around. It's another fairly gray, cold day today. Yesterday afternoon was nice, but today is back to cool again. And yeah, you can see here, this is basically the entire town of St. Pierre. Wraps around the harbor here a little bit. Tomorrow, I'm heading over to the big island, Miquelon Island, for a day trip over there to go check out the other half of this archipelago, and yeah, just to see something different. But so far so good. I've really enjoyed my time here. It's been quiet, relaxing, very laid back. Given this time of the year, I've said this a few times I believe, but this time of the year there's not a lot open here. Tourist season really only kicks in like late May, June through to September or so. But it's also kind of nice that I kind of had the whole place to myself as a tourist. I can kind of come up here and wander around, and there's nobody around here at all. Restaurants aren't super busy. Yeah, so it's been nice. It's been nice, and you know, I've wanted to come here for several years, and with my upcoming longer trip, this was the only opportunity that I had to come and visit. So I wanted to make sure I at least came over to check it out, and I can tell you that I will definitely be back. Given its proximity to, you know, home and Newfoundland, it's not that far away, right? It's just a ferry ride over, and I would recommend it to everybody. Come and check it out. Map of the town of St. Pierre. We are currently up there at number 10, which was basically a straight walk up the hill. But yeah, it's a great viewpoint for sure. So this town, St. Pierre, and the islands as a whole, I was reading up a bit about the history of it, and it was first founded, I believe, by Jacques Cartier back in the mid 1500s, and over the years it exchanged hands back and forth between the British and the French until finally in 1812 it became a permanent French colony. For hundreds of years, I would say, this area was, you know, very reliant on the fishing industry, those types of things, to, you know, make it go and survive. Obviously out here, you know, while only about 25 kilometers from Newfoundland, you know, it's also kind of a world away in many ways as well. But after that, really now St. Pierre and Miquelon is mostly reliant on, you know, tourism dollars and those types of things in the summer months to really kind of keep things going. The fisheries are pretty well gone at this point. You know, cod was a big one here until the moratorium in the 90s. So in some ways, you know, it's sort of become a tourist destination. If you really want to go to France and you really want to go to Europe, but you want to try it here first, this is the place to come. This is 100% as authentic a French experience as you could hope for. And I mean that in every possibly great way. People have been friendly, very patient with me and my lack of French, to be honest. But yeah, it's a great spot, and I would recommend it to everybody. Figured I would do a nice little pan around of the town while I'm up here, since I have a viewpoint up here that, you know, you won't get anywhere else in this place. It overlooks the entire town. And so if I flip this around here, and I'll just start from here and work my way across. The island out there in the distance, the closest island you can sort of see with the church and the buildings on it, is actually basically an island museum. Nobody lives there anymore, from what I understand. However, there are homes, there's a church, you know, all of the things have sort of been captured, frozen in time. And during the summer months, you can get a boat from down at the harbor here over to there. It's only like 10 or 15 minutes, and go explore that island to get a sense of what it was like living here, you know, in the 1600s, 1700s kind of thing. So if you pan around, you can see the entranceway into the harbor. Down here in front is where the ferry terminal is, so you can go to and from Newfoundland or over to the big islands. All launches from there. This is primarily the downtown kind of area where most of the restaurants and stuff would be as well. And then as I continue to pan around over here, you know, the town kind of finishes up just sort of over here to the right. And then on the back side, across the water, there's actually the airport is over there just on the tip. You can kind of see with the hill behind it. I found out today that you can actually fly from the island of St. Pierre over to the island of Miquelon. It's a little small, I believe 6-seater plane or something, and it's like 20 euros each way. The ferry from St. Pierre to Miquelon is about 16 euros each way. So it's almost the same price. It's just a matter of time, really. The ferry that I am taking tomorrow leaves here in St. Pierre at 7 a.m. Takes about 90 minutes to arrive. And then the ferry back departs from Miquelon around 7 or 7:30, I believe, in the evening. So I'll be over there for, you know, most of the day. I believe the weather is going to be pretty good tomorrow as well for that, so that should be nice. So I think at this point, it looks like the weather is going to start rolling in here again before too long. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head down. There's a market just down the hill from here where I am, and I'm going to go in there, pick up some supplies, and then head back to the B&B and do some more work. Just a bit of advice: if you're coming to St. Pierre and you are on foot like I am, you want to make sure that you're prepared. There's a pretty steep hill to get up to that observatory. I'm starting to walk down it here now just to give you an idea of the sense of how steep it is and how high it is. So you can see down there is the main road, and so here's the road you'll walk up to get to it. This road actually continues up over the hill and that way. I believe it might go over to a smaller village just on the other side of the hill, but we're not going that way. This hill must actually be the town line for the town of St. Pierre, because here's the sign that you come across as you're walking down the hill here. And I noticed earlier on the back side, and there's the sign that's on the back sides, which I think indicates the end of the town. So yeah, so heading up this hill actually takes you out of the town of St. Pierre up to the observatory or the look-off point. Just making my way down the hill to the store, and there's another look-off point here, so I thought I'd stop in and just get another shot of the area. You can see up behind here how the place is backed into a pretty big sized rock hill, and you can definitely see the weather is moving in quickly, so I gotta get moving. So this is the monument here in St. Pierre in memory of the soldiers that were lost during World War I when St. Pierre sent men to fight for France during the war. And it is a very impressive monument here right in the middle of the town. Across the street from the monument is the museum and the archives for St. Pierre Miquelon. Closed this time of year, unfortunately, but you can see it's a pretty impressive building. Pictures of it inside look really interesting as well. Lots of history. I mean, the history here goes back, you know, to the 1500s. So from what I've seen from the pictures and stuff, the archives in this place are well worth your time. Alright, and I'm back at the B&B. The rain had just started as I was heading up here, so it was good timing. Anyway, I'll show you what I picked up today, just give you an idea on pricing and stuff. I went to a different store today, and the pricing seemed a lot better. Compared to yesterday, which was 28 euros for that haul, this haul came to just under 18 euros, $1.74, I believe. This other store was a larger market as well as a butcher in the back. They had all kinds of like fresh vegetables and stuff, which were quite expensive in some cases. I saw a pack of mushrooms was €12, which is about $16. Anyway, I'm going to sit down, have something to eat, enjoy my beer, and we'll talk to you later. So very quickly, my time in St. Pierre is, coming not to an end yet, but we're moving right along. Today is my third full day here. I hope that you enjoyed a little walk around, see some of the sights. Again, beautiful place. Highly recommend everyone come to see it. I would wait probably a little extra month or so before coming, like end of May, early June probably would be best, based on from what I've seen. But yeah, I really can't recommend it here enough. Great spot. I should mention, a couple of people have asked me how to support my channel. So currently, obviously, still new to YouTube, so not making any money on YouTube or being monetized in any way, or on Facebook or any other social media. I'm just kind of putting this stuff out there and hoping people are enjoying it and getting some pleasure out of it. If you're interested in supporting me, I'll post a link in the comments. It's just a one-time donation if you want. As low as $3 would be awesome. I'm also going to have a Patreon page up and running soon, which will have some different levels to it. The cheapest one will be like $5 a month. I'll also be setting up a postcard club within the Patreon levels, so that as I travel, if you are a member of the postcard club, you will receive one in the mail from me, handwritten, from each destination that I'm in, probably once a month or something, depending on how it works out. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please, send this to your friends, family, people you don't like. Sure, I'll take it. And remember, life is short, so go wander. Good morning. We are here in Miquelon on the larger island of the archipelago here. I arrived safely this morning on the ferry, and the ride was pretty good. A little bumpy for some people, I think, but it was okay. Good. So we're over here now. It's very windy, very cold here today, but it's gonna be a nice day. I think it's gonna be really good to kind of get out and do a little wander. But the first thing we're gonna do this morning is go take a look at the tourist center, which is straight in front of me here. I'm going to flip this around. They also have a museum in here, sort of a natural environmental museum, which has some presentations and information on the islands, as well as some displays and other information on wildlife and different parts of the island and different environments of the island. So we're here. It's about 9:30 in the morning, and it's about 0 degrees Celsius with a wind chill of about -7. So happy late April. Anyway, I'm just here to have a look through the museum and stuff at first. Going to spend some time wandering around here, go for a little wander around the city, and I think this afternoon I may actually go on a little tour that the museum offers here of the island. It's about 3 hours for the afternoon, and looks like it would be a pretty interesting experience. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, for now, let's just take a little walk through here and see what we can find. So if you're still curious as to where we are, here's a map of the Atlantic. So you've got Europe on this side and Canada over here on the left. There's Toronto, Montreal, Halifax. So here's a closer look at the map. So when you come in, so here's Newfoundland up here, Nova Scotia and beyond. What I did is I actually took the ferry from Sydney over to Port aux Basques in Newfoundland, and then this was a bus over to St. John's, which was about 13 hours. And then from there I drove over here to Fortune, and then from Fortune you take the ferry to the islands. And what I did is I went from Fortune to St. Pierre, and now today I've taken the ferry up to Miquelon. So it again started here, down here, St. Pierre. Here is Île aux Marins, which is a kind of a museum island at this point. And then you can actually fly from St. Pierre up to Miquelon, or take the ferry, which is what I did this morning. So this is the ferry route that I took up. So I'm here for now, and this evening I'll return here and then back to Fortune tomorrow.
Aujourd'hui, Saint-Pierre est la capitale administrative et économique.
Le fait qu'il y ait la maison de la nature, ça apporte quelque chose aux gens, c'est-à-dire ça met à leur portée tout ce qu'on peut avoir d'intéressant à Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon au point de vue faune, au point de vue flore, au point de vue habitat. Mais il ne faut pas que la maison de la nature soit seulement cela. Il faut aussi que ça incite les gens à aller sur le terrain, à essayer de découvrir ce qu'ils ont vu dans la maison de la nature. Parce que le contact avec le terrain, c'est irremplaçable.